Yeah. What else?
He had the booklet.
He had a booklet. It was written down. Yes, with descriptions of each one. Specificity increases believability. Right? It wasn't $7 bottle of wine. It was $5.75 or $4.75. Whenever you're at a point where the price is like never make your price a flat number. It should always be something specific. Even when you're using credibility points or statistics or whatever, specific is always better than round numbers. It's just more believable. So we had that. What else did he have?
On the actual like book or pamphlet, what do you call it? So actual letters that were used for the language, kind of like French, if you will. So
Yeah.
add like more value to it.
People lend more credibility to things they don't understand a lot. So, remember we talked before about like even in Scottsdale we're talking to James about how like people think when they think of China, they still think it's like everyone's in long flowing gowns and the women have their hair up in like chopsticks, right? And it's all rice fields and meditation and everyone's reading Confucianism like that's what they think, right? They give it more credibility. Same thing with the French. You've never been to France, you assume if it's French it must be like high class, right? But if you go to France you realize it's dirty as fuck there, all right?
What
Nope,
about
a lot of smelly armpits.
The stories.
The stories about each bottle.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, so stories always add credibility. Always. Right? There's a key phrase, show, don't tell. You learned it when you were in second grade when you played show and tell. Right? In school.
The packaging.
Yeah, the packaging, but even the story of each bottle. So if he just said, telling would be this is a very fine bottle of water. I'm telling you something, and you probably don't believe it because we don't just believe things people tell us. But if it's implied, we do, and stories imply. So I'm telling you this is a fine bottle of water versus it comes from the top of Mount Fuji, taken during the glacier period every season by a Himalayan man with 1 foot who hops his way to the top, right? And he follows a special ancient Fujian melting technique to get the most alkaline water humanly possible, and it's delivered here on a private jet, right? And it's blessed by a rabbi, right? And that's how it arrived here. That's a story. Now, which one seems finer to you, the first or the second? The second. I always go through my copy a lot of times, and I'm like, where am I telling instead of showing? How can I change everything to a story instead of just me telling you outright? Always adds credibility, always adds authority. So, in fact, I want to look at another one here. All right, we got.
Can I ask one?
Yeah.
So I also noticed having the variety of multiple different options, and then also being able to compare them relative to one another. So certain bottles were only $4.95, and then there was like the $7.95.
Right.
So it adds some kind of comparison value as well.
What do you mean when you say comparison value?
Well, you're able to kind of create like a tier of value with the things that you're offering.
How does that add authority?
But one, simply because there's more than one option, it shows that
It looks like there's a history to this, right?
Right.
There's a lot of competitors in this market.
Yeah.
It's a real credible market.
and
Yeah.
and you as a creator didn't just put out one thing, right? You have multiple things that you've created.
Yeah, you're a curator of water, is
Yeah.
what you are.
And
You
in
find the
addition,
best.
This is the most valuable water that I've ever created.
Yes. All these things add credibility to what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there was a spider in one of them.
Is that a real spider?
Honestly, I would have probably tried that for sure. Just because I like a challenge, and you put water with spider, I'm like, I gotta fucking try it at least once. I have to. All right, so let's check out this next one here. Keep thinking about this idea of authority and how people go mindlessly obedient. There's just certain signals their brain picks up on, and they automatically just start obeying because they feel like they should.
Very distressing consequences can come out of it. Would you obey this man? He's Charlie, our actor, dressed to look like he's in charge. But he's in charge of nothing except obey the
You guys want to move closer? This one's quiet.
Find out exactly how obedient you are.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, can I just stop you? You're about to pass between me and the red bench. Can I sort of skip go the other side? Thanks. That's great. Oh, I'll just be on the apple, it'd be great. Thanks very much, man.
This snaps. I couldn't just ask you to knock it in down for me. You're probably heavier than I am. Can you give it a jump? Yeah, that's your problem. This was that way. Can you just jump, please? Yeah, no, 2 foot is probably best. I couldn't just ask you to litter, could I? To litter? Yeah, have you got anything you could possibly quickly litter? Do you use that? It's probably alright. Yeah, could you just litter for me, please, sir? Just twice would be great. Just kick it away, otherwise it won't. Yes, sir. Give it a kick. Couldn't ask you just to pop down your other hand, could I? Thanks, that's excellent. Yes. And just slowly, really, basically. It's a simple experiment, but amazingly, it works. Out of uniform, though, it's a different story.
Oh, sir, can I just ask you to switch bags with your hands? Just... You can just go and just touch that brick. No?
But with the uniform, 70% of people follow Charlie's
You got my dental records there? That's proof enough that this is quality sweet cook. There you go, please, sir. Stop the bag.
So they obey.
You put the bag in your other hand.
This reminds me of something.
Hold on. So, what made the difference there?
uniform.
The perception of authority.
It wasn't him at all, was it?
No.
Same guy, same tonality, all that shit was the same. It was two things. It was a uniform and a walkie-talkie. Do you guys notice he always held the walkie-talkie right here? Like he's in the ready position, like he's gonna do something with it at any point. You're gonna call him back up anytime he needs to. A fucking uniform. Everyone stopped and obeyed, wearing a uniform. People breeze right by him when he's not wearing it. What does this tell us about how we need to present ourselves?
Dress the part.
You need to dress the fucking part. If you're selling fitness, you better dress the fucking part. You're selling drummer, you gotta dress the part. Think about who would you need to look like to get the most amount of people to mindlessly obey what they see? Maybe a drum professor at Juilliard. How does he dress? What if you look like that in your videos? Right? A fitness professional on TV. What do they wear exactly? What if you wore exactly the same thing?
Or wear exactly the same thing as him?
As a fitness professional on TV.
Yeah.
The most famous one in the world. Who is it?
On TV?
Or the most famous nutritionist. You know the answer now,
They-
but
they
that's who I'm
basically-
getting at.
yeah, I
That's,
gotcha.
that's who I'm getting at, right? A guy who I think is a great example of this, and he gets it right. Well, one obviously is Dan Pena. He dresses the fucking part, right? Angry billionaire. He looks like an angry billionaire. He always suited up. One of his mentees, who a lot of you know also, I think dresses the part superbly well, is Dan Locke. Does Dan Locke dress the part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he wears what he wears on camera, like all the time when he's on camera?
That red suit.
Oh, dude, that's an imprint suit is what that is. Who has seen Dan in his red suit?
Some pictures.
Yeah, who can never forget it? Yeah, I'll never forget it. The last thing I see before I die is Dan Locke in a red suit. It was funny, he just got a Bentley. Did you guys see it?
Yeah.
You saw it? He got it the same day I got one, last week.
That's all right.
No one talked about it, we just texted each other. Like he texted me a picture of him in it. Actually, I'll pull it up. He had like a professional photo taken, he texted it to me. And I was like, holy shit, dude, I just got this. Yeah. Look at that suit.
Yeah.
There he is. Gangster. I told him I was like, it looks like you own the building. And he was like, that's all in the master plan. The Locke Empire. He wants it. He looks the part. Who else do you know always looks the part?
Police officers always look the part. This comes from my background.
Police officers. The uniform. Right? And they even teach the women in particular, when you have the uniform, also they want you arms akimbo a lot, which means arms on the sides like this. You guys see police officers stand in this position a lot? Because this is what they're taught, is to look most authoritative. Like this.
The other part is called command presence, right? So there was a study that was done between this one guy, this one leader. He really killed tons and tons of police officers. He couldn't figure out where he was going, but one officer pulled him over, and for whatever reason, this guy was ready. He had a handgun in the car or whatever. So he walks into the car and literally, runs his information, figures out he's the guy that's whatever it was. Right? He never made any moves or anything towards that police officer. And they actually did it. The study was around why was it that he didn't do anything? It was because all of his clothes and stuff were pressed, clean, and that's what they talk about in command presence. It's how you presented. All the other officers found that they weren't like tailored clothes, wasn't pressed uniform. That was the only thing that made a difference. The one officer had everything was clean cut, clean shaved.
Was he pretending to be an officer?
No, he wasn't an officer.
He was an officer killing other officers.
Oh no, he wasn't. It was just a fugitive.
I'm saying, was he dressing up as a policeman or not at all? He was just well put together. Yeah. Yeah, presentation. Right? Look at him. Dry clean shirt. He's not a murderer. Murderers don't dry clean. That's what the brain goes. You're consciously, some of you are like, that makes sense. Other ones are like, there's no way. There's no way. I would never do that. Fuck you. Yes, you would. You would. It's unbelievable. Who else dresses the part that you know of? Who else comes to mind?
Kings and rulers.
What is it?
Kings and rulers.
Kings and rulers. Yeah, of course. They look a certain part. Yeah, they carry themselves a certain way. And there's certain body language positions that are simply more authoritative than others. Obviously, there's high status body language, but there's certain things you do with your hands and your arms that are seen as more authoritative. So fingers together, less authoritative. Steepling like this, more authoritative. It's like this. This seems powerful. This doesn't. There's a bunch of others. Right, there's several others, but very, very interesting shit. So I got one more that I want us to look at, the same idea, about how different little things make such a big difference in getting people to obey. And this isn't just for social experiments, right? Obviously, everything we're talking about here, do you think it would work on girls? Why wouldn't it? How is their brain different from girls? All right.
Excuse me, sir. This bench is for decoration only, actually, so just, yeah, no sitting. Thank you. Sorry, but the bench is for decoration only. Just stand, no sitting. Thank you. Excuse me, guys. The bench is for decoration only, so no sitting. Thank you. Just move away from the bench. Thank you. Sorry, but bench is for decoration only. We just have to ask you to stand up, please. Decoration only. Bench, yeah, it's a commemorative bench. Decoration only, please. Just we don't want it to get damaged. Thank you. Sorry, it's no. This is a decoration only. No sitting on this bench. Just stand up, please. No sitting on this bench. It's decorative. It's not for sitting, bro. It's a commemorative bench. Just stand up, please. Good for you. We're just messing with you.
So, one guy actually did get up, right? Did you notice? He really had to think about it. Like you see, he kept checking. Like, wait, what's going on here, right? Because it looks like, what was the ornament that he used to?
Clipboard.
A fucking clipboard. He got all these people to fucking do what he wanted because he's holding a clipboard. Amazing, right? Amazing. What else is there besides a clipboard that you could use?
He was using the door. When he had to explain himself, he was saying it's a commemorative thing.
A commemorative, yeah. Which, by the way, is playing that's the moral authority card, right? The greater good authority card. Basically, you're saying the implication is standing up is for the best for everybody in the community. Sitting down would be you going against the whole community. It's a commemorative device just for all of us. So please don't sit down and ruin it for the rest of us. He's playing the moral authority card, right? Which is a very powerful way to play authority. You can screw with a lot of people that way. All right, or you can do a lot of good, right? So there's uniforms, there's walkie-talkies, there's clipboards. I've noticed that there's a little more compliant sometimes if I'm holding a pen in my hand versus not holding anything. Holding something in your hand is just a little more authoritative in general. Yes?
So, with authority across different spheres, obviously, different accessories will speak in different situations.
Yes.
Like a clipboard would work there.
Yes.
But like with girls, is that why like rings or necklaces can work?
Yes, so symbols of wealth
Yeah.
obviously signify some level of authority or success. So that stuff can work, yeah. We also have to remember the certain cognitive bias, which like the ultimate cognitive bias of all is that what you're paying attention to in this moment is not nearly as important as you think it is in the moment that you're thinking about it. Did that make sense to you? Everyone get that? This is Robert Cialdini asked Dr. Daniel Kahneman, who wrote Thinking Fast and Slow. He's a behavioral scientist who won a Nobel Peace Prize for it. And he asked him, if you had to sum up all your work into one idea, what would it be? And he said, what you're thinking about is not nearly as important as you think it is in the moment you're thinking about it. Whatever you're thinking about in that moment, you're overvaluing its importance. Always. Whatever has FOMA, front of mind awareness in you, you're just overweighing no matter what, because you're thinking about it. But understanding that, we always keep coming back to this idea. This is so important. And it's funny, the last couple of years, it's like I got away from it, and then the more I learn, the more experiences I have, the more successful people I connect with, the more I see what girls respond to over and over and over again in real life, I keep coming back to this, which is like the oldest sales concept of all time. What's the A stand for?
Attention.
The I? The D? A? Yes. AIDA. IDA. Right? Attention, interest, decision, action. So, attention. If someone is paying attention to you, do you have their front of mind awareness?
Yes.
Now, because you have the front of mind awareness, does that mean that they are overweighing the importance of you in that moment that they're thinking about you?
Yes.
Yes. So, simply holding people's attention gives you significantly more importance. Necklaces, rings, different things that attract girls' attention, as a byproduct, it makes you more attractive simply because you have her attention and other guys don't. Just having people's attention is like the whole game. It's like the hack of all hacks, the shortcut of all shortcuts. Does this make sense to everybody? Is this a big idea? Yes. Yes, it's a big idea. It's a humongous idea. Who here feels like they do enough to attract and arrest people's attention? Good. You don't. You don't. What else are you thinking about? You want domain-specific authority.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking about?
I mean, that was just an epiphany I got from you. That like if you're trying to, you don't have to wear the same stuff across all domains. But like if I'm teaching copy, like I'd wear a suit. But if I was going out,
Would you?
I'd be the suit guy.
Would you?
I could.
The other part of it, just because we're getting specific here, which is good, is what I want. If you're selling copy, what is the desired outcome that your marketplace wants?
To make money,
Is that what they want?
to get conversions, to have more.
Why do they want to write copy? Why do they want to make copy a way for them to make money so they can have more?
Oh no, I meant me writing copy for business.
Not selling to copywriters.
No.
You mean to business owners?
Selling
Yes.
copy to businesses.
Yes. Then you would. Yeah. Then you look like you wear a suit. You look like an authority there. Yeah. But in other situations, if you're selling to copywriters or aspiring, they want to write copy because not because they want to get rich. They want to make 6 figures and travel the world and be free. Pick up on a dime and go wherever I want, whenever I want.